Explaining the Uganda-Tanzania War. In 1971, Idi Amin Dada seized power in Uganda during a military coup and ousted President Obote from power, who then fled to Tanzania. During Amin's reign, Uganda's relations with the West would break. This was because he held relations with Palestine, the USSR, and Libya under Muammar Gaddafi. Though even Uganda's relations with the USSR would end up souring after Idi Amin refused to support the MPLA in Angola. Kenya did not like Idi Amin's military buildup in Uganda and would even help the Israelis during Operation Entebbe in 1976. Operation Entebbe was an operation meant to free hostages in Uganda on a plane hijacked by the Popular Front for Liberation of Palestine. As for Tanzania, Amin would blame President Nyerere of Tanzania for supporting Obote's failed attempt at regaining power in 1972. He would also accuse them of harboring other political refugees. In the late 1970s, Uganda's economy had become poor. It was initially because of Amin's expulsion of all Asians from Uganda. He would then take over British and Indian businesses. The economy was made even worse, however, when there was a global drop in the price of coffee. This caused discontent, and Amin, who had always been a repressive leader, would start to kill more and more people. This was made worse when Amin, who was a Muslim, started to attack the churches and killed the Archbishop of Uganda in 1977. His paranoia would also lead him to murder many high-ranking officials. This would result in the Vice President of Uganda fleeing to Tanzania. Unhappy troops and those loyal to Vice President Idrisi would start to mutiny and rebel. Amin would try to stop these rebellions, but this would only end in the troops marching into Tanzania along with Idrisi. Amin wanted to unite his unhappy nation and crush any further threats, so in late October of 1978, he would send troops into Tanzania. He would accuse President Nyerere of supporting these rebels. Within days, immense amounts of troops would occupy over 1,800 square kilometers of the Kagera region inside of Tanzania. Amin wanted to annex the entire Kagera region. Nyerere would respond by mobilizing around 100,000 men. These troops would link up with the tens of thousands of Ugandan exiles and would form the Ugandan National Liberation Front. Together with the Ugandan National Liberation Front, they would move west. Idi Amin's outnumbered forces would flee back to the Ugandan border in 1979. Gaddafi would still send arms and thousands of troops from the Islamic Legion to help his ally. These troops, however, would still not be able to stop the Tanzanian advance. The Tanzanian forces would then split in two and invade Uganda. One army marched forth and tried to cut off the west of Uganda from the Congo. The other army would march northeast to take Masaka. The Tanzanians would be slowed by the weather and resistance in Masaka. Nevertheless, the city was captured in late February. Idi Amin would accidentally misinform his troops of where the Tanzanian troops were placed, and this would result in the troops being ambushed around 100 kilometers from Kampala. With Amin's armies defeated, the Tanzanians were easily able to take Entebbe and Kampala. Idi Amin, however, would escape Uganda before he was captured and would flee to Libya before finally moving to Saudi Arabia, where he would live his life outside of politics and without punishment for his crimes against humanity. In conclusion, the Uganda-Tanzania War was an attempt from Idi Amin to prolong his regime for as long as possible, though, in the end, his regime was destined to fall. The war would also lead to the Uganda Bush Wars multiple years later, and would lead to the current leader that Uganda has today. Thank you for watching this video on the Uganda-Tanzania War.